Hi Cancer, this is going to be your I can't get my lighting right. There we go. This is going to be your February 2026 tarot reading. I have with me today the Radiant White deck. Oh, I don't know what's going on with my lighting. The Levita Sibila for clarification should we need. And we'll wrap the reading up with the Psychic Oracle Tarot. So I've already done some meditation and shuffling on your sign and glyph. So let's get into the reading because my lighting is not right. Okay. We're going to put another rifle and shuffle on the deck. I think I need to turn this off. I don't know yet. I have it on the lowest setting. Usually I have such beautiful light in this room, but apparently I'm going to have to reorient my desk. So I can get the perfect lighting. Maybe it's a color of light. I usually use blue light. Okay, let's cut the deck. This will be a 9-card spread. Here we go. First card down, the Tower. The 9 of Swords. Man, Cancer. The High Priestess. Next row, the Moon. Man. The Hangman. It looks like you're going through it, Cancer. The 10 of Pentacles. That's not bad. Last row, the 6 of Wands. It's getting better. The Temperance. And finally, 3 of Cups. What is over the entire reading? It is the Lover's card. Okay, so what do I have? 5 major arcana. And the major arcana basically deal with your life spiritual lessons in terms of major life changes. I also have 1 sword, 1 pentacle, 1 wand, and 1 cup. So it covers the gamut. This is talking about everything that what you think. Swords represent your thoughts, feelings, perceptions, ideas, communication. Pentacles represent either the doing of something or money. Wands represent either your career or for me it always represents, wands always represent your focus, passion, determination, desire. And cups represent your emotional quotient, how you feel about a person, thing, or situation. So let's start in the center because this is quite an impressive spread. We have the Hangman. And the Hangman represents a time where things feel like, where you may feel like you're floating. Time just floats by. You're not doing anything. You don't seem like you're doing anything. You're waiting for something to happen. It also says, the Hangman, that you have to sacrifice. There's something that you must sacrifice in this situation. But when you sacrifice, you get what you want. So you have to give up something to get what you want. It also, nobody put the Hangman there. He put himself there. So he's hanging on a cross, upside down. And that represents waiting until you get a higher perspective of you, a higher perspective of the situation. You know, thinking about it on another level. Sometimes the hangman can represent you having tension headaches, migraines, vertigo, back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, knee pain, leg pain, foot pain. So you might be experiencing those things, particularly if you're stressed. The cards are read past, present, future, and the interplay of the cards. Right off the bat, I see something major is going to happen, something unexpected. The Tower card represents an unexpected event. It happens quick, it happens fast. You can't plan for everything, you know. So sometimes life throws you a curveball. I've seen this. The Tower represents the only man-made structure in the tarot. So it's usually like a car breakdown, or you lose a job, or some unexpected event happens. I've even seen it happen where your basement gets flooded. Particularly here with Neptune, which is the hangman. There's a lot of moon energy in the spread. And so usually what happens, we have expectations in life that our relationships are going to last, that our jobs are going to last, that everything is going to last. But the universe doesn't work that way. Eventually things break down. And so when it comes, it's unexpected. So this card says an unexpected event happens. It may knock you off your feet, pull the rug out from under you, but you're going to recover. Moving to the Nine of Swords, it's a 9. And 9s always represent a moment of pause, a moment of stopping and thinking about what comes next. In the card, we see the figure is sitting up in bed with the head and hands. And supposedly this card represents a woman, and she is worried because her son and father have been killed. Down here you see the figures, and there's nobody to take care of her. So this is a worry, anxiety, tension, stress, nightmares, insomnia, guilty conscience. It's like you think the world has come to an end. Okay? And the truth of the situation, it may not be that bad. It's only your thoughts, what you think about it. So you may be having nightmares, a guilty conscience, or something that happened related to this Tower card. But now we have the High Priestess, and she is a 2. And all 2s represent choices, options, dualities, oppositions, whether someone is actively opposed against you in something, or you are opposed within yourself about it. But she is quite a wise person, and so this, what she represents, is going within and seeking the answer. It's sort of like these 2 cards are the same thing. It's about going within and learning what the truth is, because what you may hear or what you may see may not be the truth. That goes back to the Nine of Swords. Somebody's communicating something to you, they said something to you, something happened, and you are confused and upset and worried and stressed. But the High Priestess says, please go within, calm your mind, and go within and trust what your intuition is telling you. Here we have the Moon card, and I think this is a timing. The next full moon, let me see when that is. I think it's now. No, it was on the 1st. It was a full moon in Leo. So the next last quarter moon is on the 9th. And we don't have a new moon until the 17th, there it is, in Aquarius. Okay, so that's the timing between the 1st and the 17th of this month. The full moon in Leo and the new moon in Aquarius. And the moon talks about fears, deep psychological fears. It can sometimes represent illusions, delusions. It says that we have to walk the path no matter what. You know how you can see clearly by the light of the sun, and when it's a full moon, you can't. Shadows come by and they make things look scarier than they are. So that activates your fears. So you have to go within and trust what your intuition is telling you. The 10 of Pentacles is a 10, and it talks about a changing situation, changing energies. And 10s always represent changing energies. So this card represents Capricorn in the 10th house. So this could be about like getting a promotion, getting a raise. It can be about family businesses that have a lot of money, generational money. Everybody plays their part and they know what they're supposed to do. Here you see the woman, the man, the child, the dogs, and the old person. I usually see this when people are thinking of retiring from something. And it talks about success and what it means to be successful. And success can be whatever you want it to be. Some people would like to have the corner office and the skyrise, a building with a fancy car and a big house. But some people would look at just getting a kid through college as a success. So it's personal. Don't let anybody tell you what success should be for you, because only you know what you are successful in and what you have most to be proud of, and things that you can pass down to other generations. The 6 is a number of balance and harmony. This is the 6 of Wands. It usually represents getting your name in the paper, getting a promotion, getting a raise, finishing a degree. It says that you should be proud of whatever you have accomplished because you work hard to get it. Before it was a 6, it was a 5. That's the 5 people fighting with 6. And thank everybody behind you. So if you had a conflict with somebody and this card comes, you should thank them because they help you overcome whatever the problem was. No matter how you did it, you did it. The card equals leadership. We have the Temperance, which talks about moderation and compromise. Moderation in all things. Economy, in your finances, how you're living, if you're drinking, if you're doing drugs, whatever. It talks about economy and moderation. So it's about moderating your emotions and moderating your behavior. Usually I see this card come up when people ask me, are they on the right path? I usually say, yes, you are. There is the path right there, but you still have a long way to go to reach where the crown is. And you see how the angel has one foot in the water and the other on land? It's about balance. It's about like when you put a pot of water on the stove to boil, you want to get the water and the heat just right. Because if it's too much, the water can boil over and put the fire out. If it's not enough, the water never gets hot. So you have to find a balance. It's a reconciliation of opposites, is what it is. And so is the Hangman. I'll read to you something about reconciliation of opposites with the Hangman in a minute. And finally, we have the 3 of Cups. And cups, like I said, represent just emotional energy. So this card only speaks to me about a universal gathering, like a birthday, a marriage, a baby shower. No matter where in the world you are and what culture you live in, when you see this celebration, you know what it is. You don't have to be Indian to recognize when someone is having East Indian birthday, or you don't have to be Japanese to know when someone is having, in Japan is having a baby shower or a marriage. You don't have to, it's a universal gathering. But I think the most important card here is the Lovers. And the Lovers talks about a choice. Most people say it represents actual lovers, a relationship where two people are equally matched and they respect each other. But sometimes it talks about a mismatch of energies. Like you got married, arranged marriage, and there's not a lot of love there or respect. But more than that, it talks about a choice. And the interpretation says, choose wisely because the choice will have far-reaching consequences. So that's what the whole spread is about. It's about making choices. And it's about making the right choice. And that's why I think we have the High Priestess and the Hangman here talk about going within and finding the higher perspective of the situation. Now, I can look at the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the Three of Cups as they relate to the Tower card, the High Priestess, the Moon, the Hangman, and the Temperance. I'm sorry, I can't remember all this, particularly since I had my stroke. I used to be able to remember all the interpretation of every card, but not no more. Let's start with the Nine of Swords. Next to the High Priestess, it's telling you to be prepared to face certain truth. It asks you to have no fear, as this will only hinder you. It is time to face facts and take responsibility. It brings a message that you must be prepared to face certain truth and not be afraid or fearful. Whatever this is, it makes you fearful. But it's this card next to the Nine of Swords, next to the High Priest, it says don't be fearful. If you are, you're only hindering your progress. That's a life lesson. Let's go to the Ten of Pentacles. There's no... I want to say I will take this because the Lovers did come out. The Ten of Pentacles in a reading tells of happy reunions, celebrations. It may also be depicting an engagement or marriage. I don't know. The Six of Wands. Next to the High Priestess. It indicates that a time is coming up where you may be intrigued and interested in the metaphysical realm. Next to the High Priestess, the Six of Wands tells that it is important to seek out more knowledge of the metaphysical philosophy. That could be the higher perspective that you're looking for. And finally, the Three of Cups. Next to the Temperance. It asks you to take your time to adjust and adapt gradually to changes and new experiences and situations. Moderation in all things is the safest option. Next to the Three of Cups, the Temperance indicates moderation. It asks that you take your time to become settled in and become accustomed to new and exciting changes and or additions in your life. I think that's a great... It starts out kind of rough, but ultimately it looks like it works out. I'm going to read to you something about the reconciliation of opposites with the Hangman. In the readings, the Hangman reminds us that the best approach to a problem is not always the most obvious. When we most want to force our will on someone, that is when we should release. When we most want to have our way, that is when we should sacrifice. When we most want to act, this is when we should wait. And the irony is that by making these contradictory moves, we find what we are looking for. But also says, beware of other people's motives. Do not be misled, and be prepared to exercise your own personal strength and will. So let's take a psychic oracle tarot and pull a card. I don't need to look at any other things. And this encompasses your whole life, your communication, your money, your desire, your work, your happiness, because all suits are represented. And even this, it's like once the moon passes, it's like you overcome whatever it's talking about. But I think also that the second most important card is this: moderation. Don't go overboard with anything. Take it as it comes. Well, let's see what the card says. Emotional loss. You know, sometimes when you're rejected by someone or something, heaven's rejection can be your protection. So if this is about a relationship or you lost a job, I think you should know that something else better may be coming along. Emotional loss. The number 5 emotions card comes forward at a time when you may be experiencing or grieving the loss of someone or something you are emotionally attached to. Honor your feelings. Only by healing and loving yourself, by letting go of the past, can you continue on your journey. The suffering associated with this loss delivers profound wisdom and knowledge for your soul. Your unique gifts, talents, and abilities, as well as your joy and sorrow, will not only make up who you really are, but better yet, who you will become. The painful experiences of life are equally as valuable as the joyous ones. Focus all your positive energy on the good in your life and what you're grateful for. Use your healing energy in this way and try not to focus on what you've lost, for new beginnings and happiness are just around the corner. I think that's a great message. So that's what we have, Cancer, for February 2026, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.